Yo, appreciate you being here, showing up for yourself, showing up for your future self, showing up for your past self, showing up for God, showing up for humanity, showing up for the universe to dissect and really talk about and just maybe self-reflect on your own personal standards for your life. And hopefully what this video can do for you is really just again bring awareness to maybe some standards that you currently have in your life, and ultimately how to raise those systematically, consistently, so that way we can experience more of this abundant, great, amazing, love-filled life that God has presented us with. So let's jump straight into it, because the reason this came to my mind today, I was on my way to the gym, and I was just thinking about what video I wanted to make today, what I wanted to talk about. I typically like to do things I feel inspired in the moment where I'm at right now in life, and this concept of standards came to my mind, and I had to really realize, because I know a lot of personal development, self-improvers, people that want to help people become better, they talk about this idea of standards, and they talk about how, if basically, if your self-identity is like a 75 degreer in terms of like temperature, right? And you go into a room and there's like a thermostat and it's set to 75 degrees. What the thermostat does is that, if the temperature in the room starts to increase, then it's going to bring it back down and self-regulate back down to 75. And if the temperature gets too cold, it's going to heat up the room and bring it up to 75. So what does temperatures have to do with standards? Well, a lot of the, like I said, teachers and mentors of today, they allude this to our own self-identity and who we believe we are, and what we believe that ultimately we should accept in life is what is that 75 degrees. So if you want to take your life to the next level, preferably you want to change your identity to someone who's not a 75 degree, but to someone who's maybe a 80 degree, 85, 90, 100 degree person. And degree can just be an analogy for, how much money you expect or accept into your life, what type of love and relationships you expect into your life, how your health and energy should be on a daily basis, and all these things. And overall, I think, the biggest standard that we would like to raise for ourselves is this idea of happiness, the happiness standard that we should have for ourselves. I think the human experience, all of us are kind of after this goal of being joyful more often than not, being happy more often than not, being at peace with ourselves in a loving state more often than not. And, we're here on this earth to experience and to go through life to learn how to do this. Our experiences are teachers, and some of our greatest pains and failures can really be the things that catapult us to success and catapult us to a newer level of standard and awareness. So why did I want to talk about this today is because I do feel the power in it, but I think there's a barrier that stops people from being able to raise their standards, being able to think different about their situation, and ultimately what this life can provide. And really, I think the biggest misstep or the biggest setback for a lot of people, and I know it was for myself, and I've mentioned this in other videos, but it's this idea of not understanding how good it can actually get. Like, I'm gonna say that again. Not understanding how good life can actually get is what has your life looking the way that it is right now. And sometimes we may see other people living a certain type of lifestyle. We may see them with the success. We may see them with the relationship. We may see them with the health, the happiness, the travel, all these things that we think that we want, right? And, we can sometimes feel like, okay, that's them. They're special. They're lucky. They're in a unique situation, whatever the case may be. But in reality, it's that is possible for you, but sometimes we just don't believe it's possible for ourselves. You might see all the things, you might see all the lifestyle, but you just might not deep subconsciously believe that it's possible for you. And this is the thing that's holding you back. This is the thing called standards that we must raise in order for us to attract that. For those people that have that type of lifestyle, I'm not saying that maybe the happiest people in the world, but the people that I view as successful are the happiest people in the world. They're the people that have it, prefer, quote unquote, all. They have it all, right? They have the relationship, they have the health, they have the abundance and wealth, they have the happiness, the joy, the fulfillment. So it's not people that's only, achieving things on a materialistic plane, but it's also people who are fulfilled spiritually, at least for myself, right? But, this took some growth and learning to get to this space, right? I think a lot of us, especially me, growing up in an environment where the materialistic things were on the forefront. The materialistic things were placed on a pedestal, and we kind of get this chaser effect of all these materialistic things until, unfortunately, you get some of them and you realize that doesn't bring you the joy, that doesn't bring you the fulfillment, and now the search is on. We constantly go through life thinking that, oh, once I get this, I will be happier. Once I get this, I'll be happier. Once I finally get the promotion at the job, I'll be happier. Once my business finally hit XYZ a month, I'll be happier. Once I finally get the relationship I want, I'll be happier. Once I finally get the body I want, I'll be happier. And what do you find a lot of times with people with this mentality is that they get there and then they look around and question, is this all there is? Is there more? Oh, I thought this would make me happy. Or how long does that truly last? So there's this constant dilemma, of the human experience where, we have desires, we have things that we want, we obtain them, and then those things don't fill the holes that we initially had when we actually set the desire, set the intention. So what I think is important, and kind of to wrap this all into this idea of standards, is that in order for us to get more of what we want, we have to raise the standard of how we emotionally feel on an everyday basis. Because if we think about goals and we think about actions and we think about getting what we want, all those things are going to stem from how we feel internally. So like how I approach life will determine how I approach business, how I approach relationships, how I approach health. For example, if I'm a person who's in, that desire, wanting state, which is a lower level of consciousness when you look at the consciousness chart. If I'm approaching life from this desiring state and this anger state of like, man, I really want this thing, and all the people that did me wrong, that girl who did me wrong, those dudes who did me wrong, everybody slept on me, they ain't count on me, and I just come from this state of desiring and anger, then when I get the thing, all I'm gonna do is desire something else and be angered. So instead of, shifting the focus of like desiring a thing, desiring something materialistic, it's really shifting to like understanding that you already have everything inside of you, and all you have to do is choose the best version of yourself at any given moment. A lot easier said than done, right? But I think it's a lot easier said than done because we don't realize how good it can get. Because ultimately the reason why we make decisions is to go towards pleasure and away from pain. Like that's the most fundamental decision-making system that a human being has. And it's wired into our nervous system, it's wired into our mindsets, wired into our psychology. So, naturally we're going to go towards places that we feel like has a lot of pleasure, has a lot to gain from that experience. And we're gonna go away from things that we feel have a lot of pain. But in order to level up and for order to shift, from what I've noticed in my life and kind of observing others, is that, we have some type of associations to growth, to becoming happier, to becoming more fulfilled, to, leveling up in life. We have some associations to that lifestyle that can be negative in some cases. And then we have some associations to our current life, our past version of ourselves, that can be positive in some associations. And, these things might not inherently be positive. What do I mean by positive and negative? Because I don't want you to think I'm just saying doctrine. I think that the easiest way to determine whether something's positive for our life or healthy for our life is how it makes us feel. Does the state of desire, does the state of anger make you feel how you truly want to feel, which is happiness, love, joy, abundance, all these really high consciousness type of emotions? It really doesn't. But maybe we think that's the only way to get what we want. Maybe that's the pattern that we've been stuck in the past that has got us what we want in the past. So we feel that, that's what's going to be to get us where we want to go in the future. But what I want, again, this video to do is to really have you take a look internally at your own standards and see what have you been accepting emotionally that might not necessarily be the true end goal that you actually want. And how can we shift to more so start to raise the standard of what we feel emotionally. And then I think that state not only gets you the results, not only gets you the same achievement that you would have got maybe from that place of desire, maybe from that place of anger, but it allows you to do so in a much happier process, right? Because the majority of the time that you spend, quote unquote, desiring something or going towards a goal, that time is going to be spent in the journey. So it's like if time is all we have on earth, the goal would be to enjoy it, right? So it's like if you're going through this journey and the whole state is desire, wanting something that you don't have, or anger, and like that's really pushing you to get it, then that whole time frame that you're spending, you're really living a lower level of life than you really could if you just decided to shift and decided to, raise the standard of what you want to feel emotionally. And like I said, I think that gets you there a lot faster, because it's like, you can go blitzkrieg in an anger state, like everybody owe me money, and that's how you can go build a business. Or you can go from a place of love, joy, fulfillment, and just really, serve from the heart. And, that can probably get you better clients. It's probably going to get you more money. It's probably going to get more positive things put your way. And, don't take my word for it, test it out yourself. But, not only I believe that it's going to help you achieve these things faster, get there faster, and have better results, but I also think you'll be more fulfilled once you get it. You'll realize that the thing was never the thing that you wanted, and that the true fulfillment, the true enjoyment is in the journey. It is in the process of getting there, of obtaining, of transforming, of growing, of becoming someone else, right? And this becoming of someone else, I believe, starts with the standard that we set from ourselves of what's acceptable. A standard is truly just what we believe that is acceptable in our life. What we expect and what we will accept. So if we stop expecting a level of love that is at its best, okay, or good enough, then we can become aware of a love that maybe is, infinite, a love that is, something that speaks to your soul, something that sets your soul on fire, right? But we must drop this old attachment to, something that we believed is good enough, whether it's because we inherently don't feel that we're worthy to have better, or whether somebody told you that you can't have better, or whether somebody told you that, people like us, we don't have those type of results in our life, we don't experience those type of things. That's for white people, that's what I heard growing up. That's white people stuff, right? Like enjoying nature. Hiking, that's white people stuff. But really it's like, once you go hike a few times, once you go get into nature a few times, you realize like, this is like super enjoyable. And like, being around nature, you get more oxygen. It changes the, biochemistry of the body. You get to witness the beautiful visuals of nature and what God has created. You get to ground yourself. That has all these different effects on the body. But it's like, I would have never experienced that in my life if I didn't raise the standard of what I feel happiness was, what I felt fulfillment was, what I feel peace is. A lot of times back in the past, happiness looked like playing video games. It looked like, maybe watching movies. I still enjoy movies, but it may only look like movies or TV shows or Netflix or pornography or, having sex with random girls, right? But it's like, one, it takes the believing that there's something better, the faith that there's something better, and then the experience actually happens, which confirms it. Which is really this opposite process that a lot of us has been conditioned to, because a lot of us think that life is like cause and effect. It's like, these things happen, externally, they cause this experience of me internally, and, because of that, that's how I'm gonna live my life. So it's like, to switch that is to say, no, I'm really the one causing the effect in my external reality by who I'm being internally. And that starts with understanding what you want. One of the biggest decisions that we're all making at any given time is like, what am I after? What is my intention? What do I want? And it's not, again, coming from this place of desire. It's like, what do I feel is right for me right now? This may evolve over time. Your standards should evolve over time. Like before, what felt right for me may have been having sex with a whole bunch of people, until that led me to a feeling of not content, unfulfilled. Or it may have been getting $1 billion is like the ultimate conception of life that I can imagine. Like, once I have $1 billion, I'm gonna have everything that I've ever wanted in life, right? Like, this is gonna make me the happiest person ever. But it's like, as you grow, as you take in more information, which I talked about in a video I made the other day about like these high vibrational habits I think you should do on an everyday basis. One of them was, this process of constantly taking in new information. It's like, once you take in the new information and then you combine that with new experiences, like you actually start to experience the effect in your physical body and like how you feel, then this process of raising your standards really becomes, I would say, integrated with the version of yourself who is the best, who is this higher awareness, who is this higher level of consciousness. And once you have that alignment of like, okay, what I want is in full alignment with what really feels good to me right now, and based on what I believe is possible from, you know, the different information or things that I've seen, then this process of like manifesting a newer version of yourself, the 2.0 version of yourself, I believe it starts to happen effortlessly. Like you stop doing some of the bad habits, you start picking up healthier things, you start, again, just raising your standard of what you accept in your life. But it all started from the belief that there was something more. It all started from the belief that, hey, this can get better for me, and I know that because I seen this person do it. You know, I witnessed, you know, monks, they levitate or something like that. Or I witnessed, you know, Jesus do miracles and heal people. And I witnessed all these different miracles of life. And one of the foundational awarenesses, I think, which help with this is like understanding that you are the same as those people. Like at the core level, we're all consciousness. We're consciousness living in a body. Consciousness is God. God created everything. We are a part of that whole. And if you look at somebody else and what they achieve, the only thing it should do is inspire you of what's possible for you yourself. Because it's like, we are one. So it's like, if you take that inspiration and then apply it to your life, you will start to see as well. And then that becomes a inspiration for somebody else. And then, you know, you may become aware of something else that's better, right? So to make this practical, there's probably something in your life right now that you know is better than the current way of living, but there's some preconditioned patterns that you're taking part in, some habits, some things that's keeping you stuck in this old paradigm of living life, even though you know there's better. You know that a better relationship is possible. You know you can become healthier and more energetic. You know you can be more disciplined. You know you can feel more love within yourself. You know that you can make more money and grow a business and do what you love and be passionate about what you do and love what you do and make money from it and then travel the world and have freedom and then be able to take your family. You know all this is possible. You've seen somebody else do it. Only reason you're not there yet is because there's some part of you that's still taking pleasure in this current lifestyle. And that's the lie. That's what the devil told you. Some, you know, it may be for money. Oh, yeah, it is better, but once you get there, you're gonna lose all your old friends because they're not gonna like you anymore because you're doing better than them. Okay? That, you know, that could be one story. Or, yeah, there's better love out there. However, you're not gonna be able to get it because you're not worthy of that love because of who you are and, you know, all the baggage that you bring into your life. Yeah, there's better health and energy out there, but it's gonna be super hard and you're not gonna really be good at it because you never did it before. So, you know, all these things are just your body and mind's way of trying to keep you safe, trying to keep you comfortable. So it's not to say, oh, woe is me, like I'm so bad, like I have all these you know, preconditioned patterns that I'm still running. It's like, no, my body's just trying to keep me safe, and I must actively override the program to say, wait a second, that's not the highest quality of life. This is the highest quality of life, and I know this because of these reasons. And if I just keep condition that, yeah, it might be a little uncomfortable in the beginning because I'm making a change and our body doesn't really like to change. It wants to, you know, keep things at a homeostasis. But it's like, if you just consistently say, no, there's a better quality of life over here, it's a better quality of life over here, better quality of life over here, and then you really believe that it's possible for you through, you know, finding different role models, to looking at different people, what they do, and then really just focusing on raising the self-belief in your own power, in your own consciousness, your own awareness of who you really are, which is made in God's image. God is within, you know, all these things that's in the Bible that Jesus talked about. God is within you. The kingdom is within. Power comes from God. God is love. You know, all these things, like, you know, it's all pointing to the divinity within yourself to create what you want. And the only thing that you have to do is believe it can be better, believe in a different result, and then act off that belief. You know, keep moving towards that belief. It might not change overnight, but all it takes, and it starts with, is an awareness shift. It starts with changing your thoughts. It starts with thinking about situations different. So I encourage you to evaluate your own life, say and see where and what areas of life you feel can be improved based on what your current conception of life is right now. Like, where can I raise the standard on my life? And then acknowledge, like, okay, I can raise the standard here. Why haven't I already did it? What pleasure am I currently getting from my current lifestyle? Well, I'm getting the, instead of, trying to go out there on a whim and believe that there's a better relationship out there, I'm getting the comfort of not being lonely and not, and not having to change and not having to improve myself by staying alone. I'm getting the comfort of believing that, this is what life is supposed to be like at this level, as opposed to changing. Sometimes we can be addicted to the negative emotions and the negative states, the shame, the guilt, the fear, the anxiety. And it's not, again, a knock on you and like, hey, you're choosing to be addicted to these things. It's just what's been pumped into our brains and what's been pumped by society. So we must consciously override the program by putting in new information, giving ourselves new role models, putting ourselves in new environments where we see people thriving and living the life that we want to live, and recognizing that, hey, these people ain't that much better than me. These people ain't better than me at all. We're all the same. The things that they're doing is only because they know how to do it. And I can go learn how to do it too. And I can change and I can improve and I can, level up my situation. And from that space, from that awareness, from those thoughts, from that consciousness, I believe that you just took your standard from a 70-degree person and said, hey, this is what life is about. This is, what I'm going to accept in my life. And now you're starting to make that shift to say, man, I'm really a 73er. I'm really a 75er. I'm really an 80-degreer. Like, this ain't what life is all about. Like, life can be this. Life can be this. And what I'll leave you guys with, because this video is going a little long, as you start to do this, as you start to change, as you start to raise that thermostat, environment's going to try to pull you back down. Again, this is your brain's way of trying to keep you safe. It's going to say, hey, I'm not meant for these levels. I'm not meant to be this happy. I'm not meant to be this joyful. So it's going to start looking for problems. But recognize that is not the truth. That is the lie. That is the program. The program is going to look for things that's wrong. The program is going to look for the shame. The program is going to look for the fear. The program is going to look for the guilt. The program is going to look for the anxiety. The program is going to look for the depression. But it's all in the mind, and you have a choice to make at any given moment to stop yourself and to say, hey, do I want to run this program right now? No, I do not. Okay, well, how can I shift the program? And then you can go into some practices that allow you to shift into the state of being to where you are consciously right now, the awareness that you are right now. In practices, you could do this. You could use breath work. You could use meditation. You could use certain type of visualization and NLP techniques. If you want more help on this, this is what I do. I help people level up their mindset, reprogram their subconscious mind, and I coach people on this. I just helped one of my clients, he got a new job. He started a business. He's happier than ever. He's up 5 pounds. He's just, a much happier, more fulfilled person. So, it's just one example, and it come through a lot of these practices of really just controlling your focus and making sure to focus on things that you want, and to constantly understand that the things that you really want are just better emotional states. You really want to be happier. You really want to be more joyful. You really want to be more loving, more peaceful, and you can choose that now. And the only thing that's stopping you from choosing that now is attachment to this old way of living, thinking it's the only way to do something, when really there's a better way to do something. And the way that you find that better way is to tap into these emotional states right now. Don't wait till tomorrow. Go do a meditation right now. Go focus on some positive things right now. Shift into that state. And then from this state, you're a lot more open. You have better solutions. You know what you want more. You're able to be more aligned with the present version of yourself, who you are consciously and spiritually. And now you have this connection from the mind and what the mind thinks it wants, because again, you're probably already aware of the higher standard. So your connection, what you're aware of in your mindset and your intelligence and what you know based on the information that you studied and learned. But now you're connecting it with how you feel on a heart level. You're connecting it with, the positive emotions in the body. And through that connection, through that coherence, through that alignment, I think that's when more of these synchronicities and these manifestations of a better way of living start to present themselves to you. So be aware when they come into play. God's rewarding your work, but it's really no work to do, but it's all up here. All you have to do is believe in something better. So hopefully this gives you some hope. Hopefully this gives you some inspiration, some motivation for the week that, hey, there is better. You're right. You don't have to accept where you are right now. So stop accepting it. Feel the love, feel the joy, feel the abundance, feel the happiness right now, and watch your life change and watch your standards start to raise because of this. So hope you enjoyed. If you like it, comment what you want to see next, and I'll catch you on the next one.